The team, and we'll find out your starting fives. Jokubaitis and Blatt, the creative backcourt for Maccabi. Jalen Horton returns straight to the starting lineup, alongside a couple of players we highlighted in the key players, Roman Sorkin and Levi Randolph, both in fabulous form. Sorkin there should start at centre, with Horde returning to the 4 position and facing off against Vezenkov. Now a couple of guards in the lineup for Olympiacos, Williams, Goss and Dorsey against his former team. Vezenkov, Papanikolaou in the forward positions, and Moses Wright does start at centre, but expect Alec Peters to come onto the court at the same time as Sasha Vezenkov, as they put 2 number 4s in that smaller lineup. Peters, the career high, 33 points in Berlin last week. Hard to even predict the outcome of tonight based on their first meeting this season back in November, let alone any previous history. So much has changed in just a few months for these two, but it was a tight game in the first half of the season. 91-94 to Olympiacos, who had a full-strength side that evening. And Maccabi have only improved since. They've got Horde back tonight. Vezenkov led the way in that previous meeting with 21 points. Fournier had 20. Milutinov, the Reds' second-best player by PIR, had 11 points, 8 rebounds. And the last time they met here in Piraeus, Milutinov produced a staggering 20-point, 20-rebound game. An Olympiacos club record. They will have to go at it without him tonight, and without Fall as well. 9 years since Europe's premier club competition changed to a full league format. In none of the 7 completed seasons has the #1 seed gone on to win the championship. In the one campaign where there was an aura of inevitability that it would happen, COVID shut the season down, and Efes were left to wonder what might have been. Here's the top seed curse reel. That's the question that creates an uncertain atmosphere amongst this crowd tonight. Yorgos Barzokas doesn't think so. His message: don't play with doubt if we're going to end the drought. A win sees Olympiacos finish top. In his eyes, the best platform for a first championship in 12 years. I'm Tim Long, an honour to be courtside at the Peace and Friendship Stadium for the final game of the regular season here in Piraeus. Olympiacos with the first possession, and the ball already through multiple hands. Dorsey taking it right at his former team, can't convert. He's hardly been playing recently, Tyler Dorsey. Didn't play at all in the last 2 games. Expected to be a key signing when he returned to Olympiacos in the summer. Jokubaitis to Sorkin, who can stretch the floor, and he knocks down the long 2 as he brings Moses right away from the paint. Sorkin, who we matched up in the head-to-head pre-game with Vezenkov, but Horde's return allows him to play in the 5 position and offer that outside shooting ability. And Moses Wright comes right back at Maccabi and Roman Sorkin. An emphatic finish to get Olympiacos up and running. Sorkin putting it on the floor and showing some silky skills to respond. All 4 points for Maccabi coming from Roman Sorkin, who scored double figures in 14 straight games now in the best form of his Euroleague career. 14.8 points per game in that stretch, and he stops right on his drive to the basket as the 2 starting centers go at it again. Entry pass, catch and convert, and a point of appreciation from Jalen Horde. 10 games out with a hamstring injury, and gets his first score inside the opening 2 minutes. And look at that! The C parts for Moses with the stuff rather than the staff. Moses right back to the rack. Jokubaitis putting the foul on Dorsey. First foul of the game. Papanikolaou into Wright for that first dunk. The ball movement from Olympiacos, the league leaders at 21.1 assists a game. Maccabi, though, 9 points in the first 2 and a bit minutes. Tamir Blatt, who's been struggling a little from the outside this season, 39% last season, just 35% this season. But that's a big 3 for him. 5 the lead for the guests, right to the foul line. Doesn't have the same shooting range that we have from Sorkin on the opposite side. Floater will fall. Nigel Williams-Goss, a score and an assist already. He's been filling the sizable sneakers of Thomas Walker since the main point guard for Olympiacos got hurt a while ago now. Walker, they're hopeful, will return for the playoffs. Williams-Goss excellent in his absence. Right the rebound. Getting back to full fitness after his long absence. Yorgos Sports saying before the game, they've hardly ever had a full roster. They've got the depth to try and make up for all of those injuries and absences. Sasha Vezenkov, one player who has been a near ever-present. Swung out Sorkin into Horde. He fades and he finishes Jalen Horde, and he picks up right where he left off. 4 points on 2 of 3 shooting on his return for Horde. It's Vezenkov. He'll shoot over the top of Horde, and that's back-to-back buckets for Sasha. Vezenkov 21 points in the narrow round 10 win at Maccabi earlier in the season. Horde had a perfect 20 points in that game. Didn't miss a shot. 3-pointer with pinpoint precision from the red-hot Randolph, who's in the form of his career. 16.1 points per game the last 7. Shooting 41% on the outside in that stretch. And he knocks one down here. And Maccabi 14 points in the first 4 minutes. Williams-Goss skips it out. Touch pass Papanikolaou. Vezenkov, whose shot has been off from long range in recent weeks. Vezenkov only 10 of 37 over the last 6 and a bit games now. But for Maccabi, precipitation from the perimeter continues. They are shooting the lights out at the Peace and Friendship Stadium early on. 17 points in 4 and a bit minutes for Maccabi, who lead the league leaders by 7 on the road here in Greece. What a start for Maccabi on the road at the Reds here. They've missed just 1 shot on 8 attempts early on. A perfect 3 of 3 from 3 different players. Randolph, Jokubaitis and Blatt. They're also 4 of 5 on the inside. Williams-Goss. Moses Wright was the first option. Back to Dorsey. Wright bodies up against Sorkin. There's the physicality advantage, perhaps Moses Wright, and he puts it in. Wright had 4 months out due to a respiratory illness. This is his 4th appearance back. Maccabi commit the first turnover of this game. Energy and intensity of Moses Wright appreciated by his coach Yorgos Sports. Right to the bench, 6 points, 2 rebounds, in just under 4 minutes, or make it 5 minutes of action. 3 of 5 shooting to start for Wright. Papanikolaou. Williams-Goss. Peters in the game, and immediately pulling the trigger on a 3 and hitting the target after 8 of 9 last week for 33 points. Alec Peters at it again. He's moved up to 3rd all-time in three-point accuracy in this competition, and he's only getting more and more accurate. That one thrown away to the Maccabi bench. So off the back of the timeout, back-to-back turnovers for Ode Katash's team, and the first 3 of the game for Olympiacos. And now a chance from 7 down for the tie, or maybe even the lead. Vezenkov, the 2 4s on the floor right now, Vezenkov and Peters. We talked about that small ball lineup that benefited both, especially Peters last week. Dorsey off as he went for the 3 in isolation. Jokubaitis, and a foul on Peters. Jokubaitis throwing it up for Sorkin, recognizing the space in behind. Sorkin doing his best to ensure the official saw it and wanting a bit more from it. Roman Sorkin calling for the unsportsmanlike. Well, Raymond in the game for the first time for Maccabi here. Trevion Williams over the last minute also as well, coming in at center. Sorkin now in that 4 position we talked about. Vezenkov running the floor, but not finishing. One of the most accurate shooters in world basketball right now. And how about another from downtown? 4 of 4 from 3, and Jokubaitis has 2 of them. Maccabi back up by 5. Just give it to Alec Peters. If he is free for 3, that's what's going on the scoreboard. 3 assists early for Williams-Goss as well. Trevion Williams' little push shot rolls out. Olympiacos looking to tie from 7 down again, maybe even get ahead if they give the ball to Peters. He led the league at 54% last season. Alec Peters, this season he's up to 55%, which is 2nd best in the league. He's 2 of 2 here tonight in less than 2 minutes. Vezenkov, off the footwork, 3-point shot for him. Hits every inch of the iron before going down, and Olympiacos lead from 7 down. Up fakes, Williams couldn't beat 2 of them as they forced the miss on the Maccabi center. Fournier. Williams-Goss running the show, 4 assists now. Vezenkov, another 3 for him. Williams the rebound. Playing more and more now, Trevion Williams. And Sorkin in behind, puts it in. Roman Sorkin continuing his positive start, 6 perfect points, 2 assists and a block. High-scoring opening 7.5 minutes. Both teams beyond 20 already. And now Fournier fires. 4 of 4 on the outside for Maccabi early on. Now 4 of 7 for Olympiacos. Push shot just inside the foul line for Jimmy Clark, who scores inside of 22 seconds of coming in off the back of his 20-point performance against Bayern last week. Just recently turned 24 years of age, playing his rookie professional season. And how he has taken to European basketball. Well, missed inside by Vezenkov before, then missed inside by Peters. But he makes up for that miss by putting it in at the second bite of the cherry. 8 points for Peters. And he's played only 3 and a bit minutes. Jokubaitis flicked it backwards out of his pocket. Sorkin can't hit. Papanikolaou looking to push the pace. Nice find. The off-ball movement from Sasha, the 5th assist for Williams-Goss. 5 assists, 0 turnovers in the first 9 minutes for Williams Goss. There's Clark again. How about another 2 of 2 for Jimmy Clark off the back of his 20-point performance a week ago. He's averaging 9.9 points over his first 7 Euroleague appearances. 4.1 assists and 1 steal a game as well. A tremendous young two-way talent. Vezenkov, offensive rebounds. He's missed a couple. You'd back him to bucket. A bit of a collector's item to see Sasha miss 1 of those 2, let alone 2 in the first period. Saban Lee will come in for the first time against his former team. Williams Goss to the bench on those 5 assists, 0 turnovers, and a couple of points. Clark. Williams, an excellent passer from the center position. DiBartolomeo, the club captain, into the game. Cohen, the experienced veteran. Williams against 2 again couldn't force it in, but how about the tip instead as he cleans up his own mess. A polished bucket for Trevion Williams, his first score on his 4th attempt. 28-28, Fournier, the 3 again. They've seen Maccabi and they have raised them. 4 threes for Maccabi, make it 5 for Olympiacos. And from 7 down at the end of 1 with a 31-point period, they lead by 3. All guns blazing here in Piraeus, 31-28 at the end of 1. Maccabi were involved in a record-setting night for points against Real Madrid not too long ago. They've started in that vein here. They laid down the gauntlet up by 7 with superior shooting early on. It started as a battle between the 2 big men, Sorkin and Moses Wright. And then it turned into a 3-point shootout. Wright right down the runway. Williams Goss facilitating everybody. Vezenkov somehow has 9 points, despite 2 simple misses, and you wonder how on earth he scores so easily and so consistently. And Peters has 8 points, coming in to knock down 2 quick threes. Vezenkov, though, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, still the leader of all scorers. 9 assists in the first 10 minutes for Olympiacos, doing it with 0 turnovers. We'll take a close look at the contribution of Roman Sorkin. Sorkin, who started in that battle against Moses Wright, 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting for him. 3 assists as well for the center. Everything going through Sorkin, who started in that 5 position before shifting to the 4. He's got 1 block as well. The 10 PIR edging Vezenkov for BKT, best performer of the first period. Just a brief minute or so to catch your breath. 31-28 to the start of the second. Suffocating defense at center court. Only 2 turnovers in the opening 10 minutes, both coming from Maccabi. Olympiacos not committing a single one. And to put that in perspective, the 9 assists for Yorgos Borzokis' team, they're the league leaders with 21.1 a game. 9 in the first 10 minutes here tonight. And it's Clark. Somehow got it back, but it looked like Sasha had it. DiBartolomeo, far side, up fake Cohen. They're really tightening the defense, Olympiacos, but it makes no difference because Maccabi knocked down their 5th 3 And it's Jimmy Clark who's got 7 points in 3.5 minutes. 31-31, 5 threes apiece. There's your 5 on the floor for Olympiacos, the small lineup again. Long range 2, short from Vezenkov. And Maccabi a chance to retake the lead as we see their 5 on the floor. Williams is a centre by trade as he catches, can't convert against Vezenkov, but he's a smaller centre, Trevion Williams. And a mobile centre who can play with the ball on the court. Peters! They just knew it here in Piraeus. Celebrating before the ball hit the net. 3 of 3 for Peters, 11 points. Here's Jimmy Clark, static 3 over Fournier, misses. Offensive rebound, Di Bartolomeo, accurate as ever. John Di Bartolomeo, who's now 12 of 18 from downtown the last 7 and a bit games. 42% just about for the season. 6 threes each. McKissick. Fournier. Not able to hit Evan Fournier. His first miss of the game. He's knocked down 2 of 2 on the outside before that missed 2. Di Bartolomeo, tight defense, Saban Lee. Clark trying to shift it in quickly to Cohen, poked away. Jimmy Clark will inbound. Not just about his scoring ability, but his defense. Superb as well. A man who the last 2 seasons has been named on the Atlantic 10 Conference All-Defensive Team. Led his college conference in steals both seasons. He was second in steals in the Israeli League in his first professional year before being picked up by Maccabi in February. Since he arrived, their defense as a team has gone up several levels. We knew they had the offense. They've shown that through the season, averaging around 86 points a game. The first free throws of this game coming after around 12.5 minutes. Will Raymond, 76% of the line this season. He's playing his first Euroleague season. Maccabi building a brand new team, only a few role players really remaining from the team that went within touching distance of the Final Four both of the last 2 seasons. And they're doing it on the 4th smallest budget for player and coach salaries in the competition. And they're doing it in such difficult circumstances, players departing that they built the roster around, departing within a few months of arriving. Other players having to be signed mid-season, trying to build that chemistry and camaraderie and cohesion, playing every game away from home effectively. Their home games coming from Belgrade. They're still playing their home Israeli League games in Tel Aviv, so traveling back and forth. Eurosport Orcas has said Oded Kitash has the most difficult job of any head coach in this competition. And he can't believe how they still have the energy to play the way they are playing. He said Olympiacos are tired at this stage of the season from their travels, and they're only going away for away games. Maccabi are doing it for every game. No-look pass attempt from Jalen Hort, tipped out of bounds. Oded Kitash moulded the previous team and went to those back-to-back Game 5s of the playoffs, built on the superstar backcourt of Lorenzo Brown and Wade Baldwin. 2 players who both departed. All of the stars of that team left Maccabi in the summer. Bonzi Colson as well, Josh Nebo at centre. Clark, their most recent arrival. Menko to Di Bartolomeo. one of the players to remain on the roster. And the captain knocks down another. Maccabi 7 of 10 from 3. Olympiacos 6 of 10. McKissick high off the window, and he got it down one. Shaq McKissick averaging 8.7 points per game. That has been dropping in recent weeks. He's been on a significant shooting slump, especially on the outside. Determined to get himself back scoring again. Only a 65% free throw shooter, and he misses the and one. They get it back though. They want more than the three-point play. Moses Wright, too heavy as he went off the window, and too quick. Here's Jimmy Clark out to the corner. Menko graces the wrong side of the rim. Olympiacos down 2. Fournier too heavy on the bounce pass. Second turnover for Olympiacos. Both of them have come in this period. The scoring has slowed down a bit. 9 assists with 0 turnovers the first period. 1 assist with 2 turnovers for Olympiacos the second period so far. Only 5 points for them in the second quarter, 10 for Maccabi. Clark to inbound. Getting free off the inbound and knocking it down, Levi Randolph. Randolph with 5 perfect points. A player you can't leave unguarded in this kind of form. Maccabi by 4. Fournier taking it at Hordes. And that's going to count on a goaltend. And Evan Fournier is up to 8. Jalen Hordes still showing his athleticism and energy and fitness is there after the long layoff. But shot interference that time. Randall. Prodding, probing, passing. Menko got McKissick on the flyby beyond the baseline. Wright knocks it off the rim. That is fair game after it hits the rim. Saban Lee. Lee, who made his Euroleague debut in the first half of the season with Maccabi. Now in Olympiacos red. Here's McKissick for 3. Wright tips it back. That is offensive rebound number 6 for Olympiacos already. Maccabi only have 2. That's meant to be their big weapon, and Peters slices and dices the defense and has 13 points. Alec Peters now the top scorer. 13 for Peters in 10.5 minutes, and Olympiacos level 40-40 here at the timeout in the second period. Alec Peters hearing it from this big crowd in Piraeus. Well, he was their top scorer last season, Alec Peters, after Sasha Vezenkov departed for the NBA, having been the MVP of the Euroleague the previous season. Alec Peters took over and showed what he could do with a bigger role. He's had to take a backseat again this season for the most part, with Sasha returning to Olympiacos. But without the 2 main centers, Fal and Milutinov, both missing last week and this week. And at multiple points through the season, Peters and Vezenkov are showing they can play together. And Peters is putting even more points on the board now. The career high 33 last week, 13 already to lead the team here tonight. He's missed just one shot in the process, making 3 of Olympiacos' 6 threes. (40-40), just over the midway point of the second period. Tamir Blatt gets it back from Menka. Plenty of movement with Horde trying to get up against Fournier. Comes back out again. Blatt shoots the deep 3. He's capable, but he misses, and Moses Wright able to grab his 4th rebound. And his best performance since returning from that 4-month absence last week against Alba. In 14 minutes of action, 8 points for Moses Wright. There he is again. The only centre by trade available to Olympiacos last week and indeed this week. 8 points, 3 rebounds, a steal and a block. And just under 14 minutes against Alba. McKissick. And Peters, his first miss on the outside. Blatt flips it forward. Horde, they want to foul against Jalen Horde. He just shows his composure in the paint to put it in. Horde, who leads the team this season in index rating, ranks 9th in the competition of all players in PIR, 18.1 a game. He's missed the last 10 games. And Fournier finishes through the contact. Now Evan Fournier up to double figures here. Hasn't been at his best in recent weeks. But he got Sorkin in the air and through the contact, and Sorkin came back down. Two scorers in double figures for Olympiacos already, with Vezenkov on 9 points as well. Fournier misses the and 1. So Olympiacos are 0 of 4 from the free throw line. Maccabi 1 of 2. Black, quick pass, Williams. Just about able to catch it like a hot potato. The Maccabi hierarchy in the house. Not just the playing staff that's had a high turnover for Maccabi in this turbulent time, but the hierarchy's had a shuffle as well. Even the sporting director left his post in November, ending a long association with the club. And it's set to have a new sporting director from the start of next season. The head coach Oded Kitash and the head of their professional committee, David Blatt, have been covering those responsibilities since. It's Randolph with the catch here, in behind Trevion Williams. And seeing if this is going to be an unsportsmanlike foul against Saban Lee. It's Claudio Caldabella, by the way, who is expected to be the next sporting director of Maccabi, the current GM of Reggio Emilia in his native Italy. They lost Avi Even after an 18-year association with the club. Before that, Nikola Vujicic had left the role. We talked about the player turnover a little earlier in the half. They're trying to build back to where they were, Maccabi, in tough circumstances. And for this group of players, the positive signs are there. 5 wins in their last 7. Having only won 6 of their first 26 this season. They also won the Israeli Cup in February, the club's first since 2021 in that competition. And the big hope is that they can return to play their home games in Tel Aviv next season. What a boost that would be. Peters the rebound. It's 4 rebounds for him as well as the 13 points. 42-42 in a comparatively low-scoring second quarter. Moses Wright taking out all of his energy on the rack. So explosive, he quite literally dunked out of his sneaker. Pure power, breaking laces and breaking iron. Olympiacos ahead, 8 points, 4 of 7 for Moses right now. The centres sat on the sidelines for Olympiacos appreciated that one. Randolph, short, Williams, offensive board stick back. 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting for Trevion Williams, 6 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds though. Fournier, 3-point shot over the smaller opponent, Black, can't convert. How about a 7th rebound for Williams? 2.5 minutes of the first half to play. Top spot, remember, on the line here tonight. Olympiacos know they need the win to guarantee first. It's a turnover against Trevion Williams here, setting the illegal screen. Only the 3rd turnover for Coach Kitash's team. Olympiacos have only committed 2. Maccabi now have more assists in the game than Olympiacos. 13 assists to Olympiacos' 12. Second foul on Williams. Baseline completely open for Papanikolaou, who shows his composure. Threatening the burst and then slowing it all down. Assist number 6 for Williams-Goss. Jokubaitis. He'll go to the line for 2. First foul on Williams-Goss. Saban Lee, the only Olympiacos player to pick up 2. Trevion Williams, the only Maccabi player on 2. Wright goes out. So we have Vezenkov and Peters in the 5 again. 8 points though, 4 rebounds in 10.5 minutes for Moses Wright. And 3 big dunks. Jokubaitis, if he puts this one in, will be Maccabi's leading scorer. Has 8 points now. They've had 7 from Jimmy Clark. They've got 3 players on 6. Papanikolaou. Vezenkov around the perimeter to McKissick. Peters high to Vezenkov. Number 4 to number 4, back out. McKissick for 3. How badly he needed that one. Shaq McKissick, who had hit just 4 of 26 over the last 10 games. Four of 27, if you count the one he's missed already tonight, before knocking down that one. Both teams have hit 7 threes now. Olympiacos ahead by 3. Williams-Goss going to the goal this time, wanted a foul, doesn't get it, up against Cohen. Blatt into Williams, too quick even for his centre. Bit too much on the pass from the man who ranks 2nd of all players in the competition in assists this season, 6.8 a game for Tamir Blatt. He's back for Maccabi tonight, having missed last week through illness. Papanikolaou couldn't thread the eye of the needle. Ball was kicked though. Olympiacos could still finish top if they lose this one, but only if Fenerbahce lose in Munich. And then, of course, those teams will have to wait to find out who they'll face in the playoffs, depending on what happens in the play-ins next week. But the team that finishes top will face the 8th seed in the playoffs, so the lowest seeded team to come through the play-ins. No guarantee of anything in this competition. You could be facing a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. And think of Paris, who've beaten Olympiacos here this season, who've beaten Panathinaikos not far from here in Athens this season. Ready for the start of the second half. Olympiacos 51, Maccabi 48. With the top seed for the postseason hanging in the balance here at the Peace and Friendship Stadium over the next 20 minutes. Olympiacos, it's looking like win for them, they finish top, lose, they finish second. And a backcourt violation straight away on Maccabi. And the defense that coach Yorgos Porzokas and these fans were calling for right there after just 17 seconds of the third quarter. Williams-Goss. Dorsey to right, drops it off, and Vezenkov will put it in. Milutinov and Foul appreciated that, so too these fans. And soft touch fine for the big man Moses Wright. Dorsey the rebound. Papanikolaou left unguarded. He slips it into Vezenkov, who couldn't grab it, but he shows his will to win by getting down on the hardwood. Perhaps the front runner for the MVP award this season, Sasha Vezenkov, the MVP of 2 seasons ago in his last Euroleague campaign. Although Kendrick Nunn is looking to have something to say about that, so too TJ Shorts. Nunn perhaps the closest contender, the way he's finishing the regular season on fire, but Olympiacos will finish ahead of Panathinaikos. If they only finish second, maybe that unlocks the door for Nunn. But if Vezenkov leads Olympiacos to top spot, how about Moses Wright going up to the summit, planting a red flag over the top of Sorkin. As Olympiacos look to finish at the top of the standings. Ten points for Wright. Tag one more to that tally. 4 big dunks in the process. Sorkin brings Wright out. These fans and their coach appreciating the hustle. Six on the shot clock for Maccabi. Baseline, almost behind it, but knocking down the shot, Levi Randolph, who's got 7. Maccabi closing it to 6 points with their first score of the third quarter, after Olympiacos scored the first 5 points to open up their largest lead at 8. That's after Maccabi had led early by 7. Vezenkov whips it out. They're slinging the ball around, and Papanikolaou with perfect precision and perfect timing and perfect ball movement here in Piraeus. Olympiacos basketball at its best. Their 18th assist, and the captain to kill it. Celebrated by the entire team. Nine assists just like that for Williams Goss, a new career high. Olympiacos by 9, a new game-high lead, digging their sneakers in on defense, getting the fans up on their feet for their two-way performance here in the third quarter. Randolph commits the offensive foul, and Olympiacos have the opportunity for the first double-digit lead of the game. Dorsey. It's Williams Goss. He's only got 2 points, but 9 assists. Vezenkov free, puts it on the floor, and attacks everybody. And he wants it to count, but he'll go to the line instead. Don't often see Sasha passing up the 3 as he did there against Sorkin to put the ball on the floor on the dribble drive to the basket. A man who scored 45 points this season here against Bayern with only 3 bounces of the basketball. He's third in the league in scoring, Sasha Vezenkov, 20.1 points per game, doing it with a 66-40-90 shooting split. He's got 15 points in 16.5 minutes tonight. 11, the largest lead. A 12-2 run for Olympiacos. It's 10-2 since halftime. Defensive pressure applied again. Randolph, can he shake off Papanikolaou? Wright came in with the help. Forces the miss. Ultimately, offensive rebound, though. Jokubaitis will put it in. Off just the 4th offensive rebound of the game for Maccabi, who ranks 2nd of all teams in the league in that department at 12.1 a game. Olympiacos giving one up there off a miss. Of course, Maccabi haven't been able to grab many because they've not been missing many shots until this point. The way it's going, Olympiacos might be setting some kind of record in terms of assist-turnover ratio come the end of the evening. 18 assists with 2 turnovers now. Right, how about one more? One more assist, one more dunk. A 10-foot-tall, take-it-all teardown from Moses Wright. Sorkin bumps bodies with Papanikolaou and got his geometry spot on. Roman Sorkin. As Maccabi aim to keep their heads above water now, having trailed by 11. Sorkin makes it a single-digit margin. And it's an offensive foul against Moses Wright, who's now the joint second top scorer in the game with 13 points, and Williams Goss has 10 assists with 0 turnovers. That one off the inbound to Wright, who rocks the rack again. Saban Lee will come in for Nigel Williams Goss, who's already, in just 16.5 minutes of playing time, set a new career high with 10 assists. Trevion Williams, a centre who can put the ball on the floor. Jokubaitis back to Trevion Williams, the catch and convert in behind. He points in appreciation at the pass after he himself started the move. 7 the gap, Maccabi with back-to-back scores. The defensive stop in between on that offensive foul from Moses Wright, who's wrestling Randolph right now in the center. Saban Lee out to Vezenkov for the 3, too heavy for him, and Wright rips down the offensive rebound. Thomas Walker, who's missing a 14th straight game tonight, the starting point guard for Olympiacos. Appreciating the efforts of the one center available to Olympiacos tonight, with Fowler Milutinov out as well. Vildoza is also missing. And Keenan Evans still not ready to make his debut after his 10-month absence due to a knee tendon tear. Hasn't yet played for Olympiacos after signing from Žalgiris. They are showing their strength in depth here this evening against a form team in Maccabi. Wright gets the roll of the rim, 14 points, 4 rebounds for Moses Wright. He's done it in 15 minutes of action, well worthy of that applause. Wright with the highest PIR of all players in the game now. Williams, high catch, Horde, couldn't finish. Papanikolaou will push it forward again. They're going to go coast to coast, out of bounds off his own leg. Horde taking it for Zenkov at a whistle. Jalen Horde started well. After that 10-game absence due to the hamstring injury, but he's been limited since. 6 points in 14 minutes, 3 of 5 shooting, 2 rebounds. Before the injury, he was averaging 15 points, 5.1 boards, and the league's second best 1.3 steals. I mentioned earlier, had a perfect 20 points. And these two teams met in the first half of the season, went 8 of 8 from the field and 4 of 4 from the line. Lee to Papanikolaou, another 3, no. Maccabi keeping it close, despite the turn-up in intensity from the Olympiacos defense. Vezenkov to Lee, to Dorsey, puts it up from the corner short. Vezenkov going for the offensive rebound and salvages possession for Olympiacos. They'll go to the benches first for a timeout just over the midway point of the third quarter here, with Olympiacos leading by 8, 64-56. Largest lead has been 11.
The coach of the national team of Spain.
Let's find out your Turkish Airlines flight time here tonight. It just had to be. Nigel Williams-Goss in the control tower with one of those 10 assists, saying to Moses Wright, for one of his 5 dunks, you are cleared for takeoff. Here's where they are hot or not, and for the most part they have been hot. Both teams on the offensive end here tonight, 64-56 at the midway point of the third quarter. Both shooting above 50% from 3. Maccabi don't usually shoot the better percentages. They get more of their points because of the number of possessions they generate. Second in the league in offensive rebounds, but they play at one of the highest paces as well, so they don't need to be too accurate with their shots because they just take so many of them. The GOAT of the international game in the house here tonight. Why not take in a bit of action on the final rounds of the Euroleague regular season? Sergio Scariolo. Lee penetrates the paint, drifts out of it, and drops a 2 for Olympiacos to put them up by double figures. First score for Sabin Lee on his first shot attempt from the field. Footwork from Randolph, and he gets the roll of the rim as well. Levi Randolph up to 9 points. Jokubaitis leads the way with 10 for Maccabi. 8 the gap, Sabin Lee The blow-by down the baseline. Had to pick it up off the hardwood. Vezenkov couldn't put it in. And Maccabi will look for back-to-back scores to get back within 2 possessions. Back to Williams. Floater from the elbow, way off. Bartolomeo, perhaps the smallest man on the court, grabs the offensive rebound. Jimmy Clark will come back in. Curiously, he's only played 7.5 minutes, Jimmy Clark. We highlighted him as a key player for Maccabi before the game off the back of his career-high 20 points against Bayern last week. It's not that he's done badly in his 7.5 minutes tonight. 7 points on 3 of 6 shooting, 2 assists, a steal and 0 turnovers. In fact, he's got the joint second-best PIR for Maccabi, despite just 7.5 minutes of action. There he is now, Clark, up against Vezenkov. Dragged back, 3-point shot too long. Cohen offensive rebound. Clark passes up the second attempt, gives it to Cohen to do it. He misses. Offensive rebound again. And now that Maccabi are missing shots, they're demonstrating their offensive rebounding prowess. Trevion Williams, a double-double just like that. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. And Maccabi back within 6. Peters to Lee. Alec Peters. And Williams, rebound number 11. Had a slow start on moving from Alba to Maccabi, but he's been exceptional in recent weeks. And they feel that Jimmy Clark just slipped. Up against Saban Lee. And he may have a case. Yeah, the last 5 games, Trevion Williams has averaged 11.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 2.4 offensive rebounds and 1.2 steals. Tonight he's now got the double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds in just 15 minutes. Williams Goss back in on his career-high 10 assists with 0 turnovers still. Lee picks up his 4th foul and shows his frustration to follow it. He's the only Olympiacos player on more than 2 fouls. In fact, the only player in the game on more than 2. Clark up to 9 points in 8.5 minutes. Peters. Dorsey. Dorsey up against Bartolomeo. Finds Vezenkov, who draws 2, back out. Tyler Dorsey from downtown. He needs a basket. He's 0 of 4 from the field now. Tonight, Dorsey, having not played the previous 2 games, his role significantly reduced the longer the season's going on. Peters the rebounds. That's his 5th. Dorsey, not shy to shoot, but keeps on missing. These fans winning the ball into the bucket. Sasha Vezenkov will help out his struggling teammates. 17 points, 7 boards for Sasha now. 3rd offensive rebound. Turnover again. Williams Goss, they're flooding forward in red, and Dorsey will get it to go from close proximity. If at first you don't succeed, keep on backing your own ability. He gets his reward for hard work and running the floor, and Williams Goss gets his 11th assist in that career high. Keeps on creeping up, but Maccabi keep on creeping up behind Olympiacos. Back within 5. As Trevion Williams shows he can shoot from distance. 13 and 11 now for that double-double for Williams. Dorsey, jab step. Puts the ball on the floor in isolation. Turns it over. Can't build momentum. Jimmy Clark, he'll put it in off the back of that turnover. And that's 11 points for Jimmy Clark in 9.5 minutes. 3 assists and 2 steals as well. He looks like a ready-made Euroleague player. Peters, off right. That's a long way off by his sky-high standards. Maccabi back within 3. Final seconds of the 3rd. Trevion Williams Wrong side of the rim, far side, offensive rebound. Di Bartolomeo for the tie, got it from 11 down. Maccabi are level and looking to rip the top seed away from Olympiacos. 70-70 as Yorgos Zorkas blows a fuse and calls the timeout with 31.5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. They've let an 11-point lead slip in this period.
But we were lucky. They missed wide open shot with a good high percentage shot. On the other side, we are not running out offense on the right space. We were lucky. We need to play better offense and defense. We can always switch, just do it aggressively. Yeah, we can always switch. We can pop players, especially with these two options. It's either like Jack is doing, like third man under, we impact and you change, or we play switching defense. Right? Hey, we go double piece.
After the exceptional start to the third quarter on defense from Olympiacos, now Maccabi are winning the period. That's how quickly they can score. Shooting 50% on the outside. They've just hit a couple of threes in quick succession to move to 9 of 18 for the game. After they gave up a 7-point lead early on, they've now got level on that 14-4 run. And ultimately from 11 down. Williams-Goss. Vezenkov for three. Not a great shot off the timeout. Vezenkov now only 1 of 6 from three-point range in this game. Papanikolaou showing his hustle and his balance. 8 seconds still for Olympiacos. Dorsey coming away on the curl. Can't put it in. And Trevion Williams from three-quarter court, well short. But Maccabi are right there from 11 down, neck and neck with the league leaders heading into the final 10 minutes. 70-70 here at the Peace and Friendship Stadium in Piraeus. We saw at half-time that Fenerbahce had a big advantage at Bayern Munich. And if they maintain it, what that means is Olympiacos need to win here on home court in this one tonight to finish as the top-seeded team from the regular season. They look to be roaring at one point, up by 11, limiting Maccabi with improved defense at the start of the second half. Moses Wright soaring and scoring time and time again. But Maccabi have roared right back. Williams-Goss, 11 assists, above his previous career high of 8. Still 0 turnovers for him. 21 assists for Olympiacos after 3 periods of play with only 5 turnovers. But 3 of those turnovers did come in that third quarter. And Maccabi, through the double-double of Trevion Williams, 13 points, 12 rebounds now, have tied the score at 70. Trevion Williams, your BKT best performer of the third period. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 9 of his 15 PIR points in that last period of play. Well, Olympiacos were the best home team in the competition at 12-2 until the last couple of games here. Just lost 2 in their first 14 here this season. They've since lost 2 in a row. You'll have to go a long way back to find their last 3-game home losing streak. That's a real possibility here tonight. But how about the ball movement off the restart, and Alec Peters knocking down another outside shot. They've caught it at 2, toes on the line for Peters. He's up to 15 points. Bartholomew over the top of Moses, right to his leg to get to him. Couldn't hit though. That would have taken him to double figures. Peters passes on. Williams, Goss, McKissick, Fournier. We've not seen too much of Evan Fournier in this second half. Moses right, throws out the arm. It's going to be a foul on the floor. You have to be careful not to commit the offensive foul. See here, Bartholomew trying to sell it. So the foul is on the Maccabi player. Evan Fournier, 10 points in the first half. 4 of 6 shooting in the game. Williams, Goss. Fournier, 3-point shot, right on cue. Evan Fournier up to 13. One of 4 scorers in double figures already for Olympiacos. Short Jimmy Clark, back gets it back, tries to upgrade to a 3. Williams fouled on his way up. I talked about the offensive rebounding ability of Maccabi earlier in the game. They were not grabbing them earlier because they were hitting their shots. This is the issue you've got with Maccabi. Even when they stop scoring with their shots, so often they generate second chance scoring opportunities with their rebounding ability. That's what we've seen in the second half. Olympiacos scored the first 5 points of this period. Trevion Williams at the line. Certainly capable of improving that free throw shooting percentage. Only 66% for the season. He's only 24 years of age, Trevion Williams. One of the best players in the second-tier Euro Cup last season. Second in the competition in PIR. And a very impressive rookie campaign at the top tier. 15 points, 12 rebounds here tonight. A mid-air collision that leaves McKissick with his head buried in the hardwood. McKissick going strong, colliding mid-air with Horde. And that one hurts. Oh, McKissick's been in the wars as well. Strapped up wrist. I'm hoping it's not something too serious for her husband. Might just be a wrist injury for him as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it's that right wrist that buckles underneath the landing of McKissick. It is that right hand he's holding. Or maybe even the left. He might have his and hers supports after this game. McKissick remains in for now. Fournier short on the 3. Foul is on Jalen Horde. Now, Yorgos Porzokas is not happy here. And the officials just come across to talk with the Olympiacos head coach. And the officials will talk it through before they go to the monitor. Let's listen in.
We want to check basket value.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
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 We need another angle.
But we need another angle.
So this is that Peters 2 that we had a while ago. It went down as a 2, and we'll see if it should remain as such, and I think it will. Right sneaker on the perimeter line.
We have another camera. Okay. This more clear, touch the line, okay?
And now the shooting.
Now we have a got challenge active shooting before. Yeah. Okay. This one. Okay. Wait. Go back. Go back. Okay. Give me the control.
Contact do you go? Which one?
That's on the back. This one. Look.
That one.
That one. Not before.
So before he tried to foul.
Check now. Now.
That one.
No. I'm looking it backwards.
Well, the Peace and Friendship Stadium making a ton of noise right now. Set off by Gate 7 in the corner.
I called this one.
Okay, perfect. On the floor.
And the smartphone torches are out in force. They're getting right behind their team for the finish of the regular season. They want their team to finish top of the standings. Olympiacos by 3. Have to win to get that reward. No foul on the shot. The foul was on the floor after the review, so Olympiacos the inbound, and then another foul on Maccabi. Well, no, they've called it the other way. The offensive foul on Olympiacos. Frustration for Williams Goss, who picks up his 3rd personal. He has finally committed a turnover, having dished 12 assists. A career-high 12 by a distance before his first turnover. Williams puts it on the floor against Wright. Drop defense from him, punished by Trevion Williams' floater. Maccabi within 1. They've already leveled from 11 down. They've been 5 down in the 4th. This building keeps on bouncing. They're going to give it all they've got to try and get their team to the top of the standings at the end of 34 games. McKissick off the dribble, 3-point shot off Wright. Maccabi possession and a chance to take the lead. There could be many more twists and turns in this fight for the top seed over the final 7.5 minutes of this one. Also impacted, of course, by what happens in Munich between Bayern and Fenerbahce. Williams blocked by Moses Wright. One centre in form denies another. Fournier away from Horde, his fellow French international. And then that 4th foul finally on Maccabi is on Di Bartolomeo. Moses Wright stopping Mr. Double-Double. The 4th foul, in fact, on Maccabi was on Di Bartolomeo, his 3rd. He becomes the first Maccabi player to pick up a 3rd. The problem Maccabi have got now is any more defensive fouls the rest of the game will send Olympiacos to the line. The problem Olympiacos have got is they're only 5 of 11 as a team. Fournier just 1 of 3 now. Williams has 17 and 13 on that double-double. He's level with Moses Wright for the best PIR in the game. The two centres leading their respective teams. Peters. Olympiacos by 2, shot clock to 5. Peters trying to put the moves on Di Bartolomeo against the smaller opponent, misses, and a whack to the face taken by Moses Wright. Only his 4th appearance back from 4 months out, Moses Wright. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block in 18.5 minutes. And withdrawing that foul and earning a trip to the line, now the highest PIR in the game with a 21. Williams to the bench on his 17 points, 13 rebounds. So many young talents in this Maccabi team. Jalen Hord's only 26. Jimmy Clark's only recently turned 24. Trevion Williams 24 as well. Jokubaitis 24. This is not a young league, but this is a young team showing its potential. Maccabi could be building something special if they can keep their core together for next season and add to it. And maybe add their home fans into the mix. Fords takes it down, passes on. Couldn't bank it in, Will Raymond. Fournier, 3-point shot with a hand in his face from his fellow Frenchman, Jalen Hord. Evan Fournier makes it a 3-possession lead for Olympiacos. Look at the defense from Saban Lee, getting in front of the entry pass to Hord. Too timid on the closeout was Hord against Fournier, who punishes from the perimeter. 7 the lead for Olympiacos. Maccabi in foul trouble as a team as well. Cohen taken away from him, picked back up by Hord, who off the broken play will rise to throw it down. 8 points on his return for Jalen Hord. Maccabi are hanging in the fight, down 5. What's a little under the radar tonight, because Maccabi have improved so much in recent weeks since the signing of Jimmy Clark in particular, winning 5 out of 7 games since his arrival, is that they still have a terrible road record. Maccabi are only 2 and 14 away from home this season. The 2 wins have come at bottom side Elba and Asvel. Asvel, who sit 4th from bottom. This is considerable further improvement. It's another missed free throw though, and Olympiacos could yet pay the price for that. Just 8 of 15 as a team. Fournier 2 of 5, and a 3 to make it a 3-point game from Tamir Blatt. The 10th triple from Maccabi to tie the 10 of Olympiacos. Midway point of the 4th period, the final period of the regular season for these two, the final period of the season for Maccabi. They want to go down swinging. Evan Fournier right now is throwing blows. 20 for Fournier. He's come in and in a flash become the top scorer in the ball game. Sorkin over the top of Wright. Roman Sorkin strings it. 10 points, 3 assists for Sorkin and a blocked shot. Most of that good work coming earlier on. Just a 3-point game again. Fournier draws two, passes on. Now Moses Wright says, together we fight, together we fly. Into the playoffs as one, as number one perhaps. Sorkin's three. Roman Sorkin, 5 in a flash. Just a 2-point game. They're going to make these fans wait. They're going to make these fans nervy. Fournier. The Fournier flamethrower fires again. Burning Maccabi big time here in the fourth. He's done some work on defense as well, telegraphing that one. Vezenkov, McKissick. They wanted it to Fournier. He was free on the near side. They'll slow it down in the half court and throw it away. Just needed composure. Yorgos Barzokas isn't going to be composed after seeing that. Moses Wright looking to rip down the rack tonight. 18 points. I meant that's 6 dunks for Wright. It's 5 threes for Fournier. It's a 5-point Olympiacos lead, but Maccabi aren't going away.
Send me early. I try to do that. Running a full speed man, just send it.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's some crazy stuff happening across the continent in the most competitive league in the world right now. On the final round or penultimate game day of the regular season, with still everything to be decided in terms of the placement of the top 10. These fans want top spots. Olympiacos looking like they need to win to get it. Maccabi out of playoff contention for a long time. Determined to go down swinging at the end of their campaign. Di Bartolomeo, fouled by Fournier. Olympiacos had that one and one more still to give. Fournier, 23 points in less than 19 minutes, is the top scorer in this game. And 13 of those 23 have come here in the fourth quarter. Final 3 minutes. Blatt, Sorkin. Fans desperate for a travel to get the turnover anyway. Everything going the way of Fournier right now. McKissick looking to find Fournier. Di Bartolomeo came across. Fournier falls, turns it over. Now a 4-on-2 transition opportunity. And Randolph for 3 off. Saban Lee, defensive ball. Pushes it out to Vezenkov. One further to Fournier, who remained down the floor and remains red hot. 25 for Fournier. Olympiacos back up by 3 possessions. A bit of breathing room for the final 2.5 minutes. Sorkin, though, hitting them hard inside and out. 16 for Sorkin. Hadn't hit a 3 until the last few moments, and then he bags a couple in a row. Vezenkov, foul on Sorkin. 16 points for him with only 2 missed shots. 5 of 6 from 2, 2 of 3 from 3. He's been as efficient if not more so, scoring than Vezenkov, the two players we highlighted in the head-to-head matchup before the game. Twelfth three for Maccabi at 50% accuracy. Both teams are over their season scoring averages already with 2 minutes still to play. Olympiacos have 29 assists. En route to their 92 points now, but they still can't put Maccabi away. 29 assists with 8 turnovers. It's around 3.5 assists per turnover. Moses Wright on course for a career night. And just his 4th appearance back from 4 months out. Sorkin. Height mismatch against McKissick, who's not backing down. Drops it off. The flash, not the finish for Jokubaitis, because Wright is there to shut down the guard. Offensive rebound. Tamir Blatt off with the 3. Grabbed again by Di Bartolomeo. Moses Wright with his 2nd block of the second half. So quick to get to the guard. But Maccabi now lead the offensive rebounding count in this game. Final 87 seconds. They're down 6 points with the ball to inbound from the baseline. Randolph balances the corner. Blatt. Sorkin, same spot, different outcome this time. Offensive rebound again though, Randolph. And Jokubaitis free will put it in. Still a 2-possession lead. Olympiacos need to keep their composure, and if they do, they keep top spot. 62 seconds to play. You have to remember, no top seed has ever won the championship in the 7 completed seasons since the full league format was introduced. They don't seem to care about the curse right now. They want the win. Fournier working with Wright. 2 stars for Olympiacos down the final stretch. Floater from Fournier, who feels like he can do no wrong. 27 for Evan. 6 the lead for Olympiacos. They're getting closer and closer. Jokubaitis got close to the dunk, but that's not his game. Just lay it up and in. They at least get it back. Jokubaitis being snapped at from all angles. They want the travel again, they still don't get the call. Maccabi shifted on. Sorkin just got it away in time. Did he know? Shot clock violation. And actually it works out well for Yorgos Bozokas and Olympiacos, because they use plenty of time to try and manufacture the shot. The full 24-second shot clock, as you'll see here. They get the turnover they wanted, Olympiacos. Not the call they wanted, but they get the ball. And with only 27.6 seconds left to play, and a 6-point lead. Jokubaitis going for the dunk. Just needed the points. Yeah, they have to check this one, but it's not going to count. And what a fantastic way for Maccabi to finish what has been such a difficult campaign for them, for circumstances out of their control. 5 wins in 7 until tonight, after only 6 wins in their first 26 this season, with so many changes mid-season. And now they are taking the league leaders down to the wire. They'll go to the benches with 28.1 left on the clock, and Olympiacos up by 6.
We got it. But we need defensive rebound, guys. When we blue, go under when we now, blue. Now, I'm gonna play the ball over there. Okay, I won't press break. Nigel, you with the ball here. And I want, listen, Sasa, Evan, and Sak. Sak, guys, change position, and when you pass, immediately pass back. Sasa, get ready to get the ball. Okay, guys, probably they're gonna make some foul after the trap. In the worst case scenario, AP will come and take the ball.
What a remarkable regular season. A 34-game journey with so many twists and turns. Full of drama, full of intensity, each and every game, each and every night. This one no different at the finish. Between a team top of the standings and a team that started the night third from bottom in 16th. This is why the Euroleague is the most competitive league in the world and why every game matters. Turnover, Jokubaitis laid it up that time. A 4-point game. Maccabi will go down swinging. Fournier fouled, stops the clock at 17.5 seconds remaining. And Fournier will go to the line to try to add to his 27 points. If he makes them both, it's a new career high for Evan Fournier, and he doesn't. A chance to tie the 28 he scored in January in Madrid. We'll hope to have Thomas Walker back for the playoffs. Fournier misses both, but Alex Peters with the offensive rebound. Fournier falling to 2 of 7 free throw shooting. A 74% season shooter. 2 of 7 tonight on a night that's close to being his career best in scoring. The craziness continues until the final tick of the clock. Alec Peters, a fan favourite, grabs his 7th rebound, and Olympiacos keep the ball up by 4 with 15.6 to play.
Tamir or Rokas get the ball immediately, we play 4 open, right? Immediately we play 4 open. Trevion, you take the ball out, we get the ball to the 3-point line, you ghost it, 45 cut. We go, we clear the 45, both of the corner be ready for dribble handoff for a shot. Quick 3 and then we press and foul. Come.
Well, 95 points for Olympiacos. Even without Walker, Vildoza, Foul, Milutinov. But Maccabi is still right there in the rearview mirror. Olympiacos, though, through the ever-reliable Alec Peters, just about to cross the finish line first in this fast and furious 40-minute race. Still only a 2-possession lead. Peters has 17 points now. 8.5 seconds. Maccabi need the 3 to stop the 3. We'll just go for the 2. A blink and you'll miss it score for Jokubaitis. Now they need the turnover. Williams-Goss on his career creative night puts it down the floor for Vezenkov to seal it. Sasha Vezenkov's 21 points off the 13th assist of Nigel Williams-Goss, and Yorgos Borzokas and Olympiacos will take on the top spot curse. They'll look to become the first ever #1 seed in the postseason since a change to a league format to go and win the championship. They secure top spot with the win on the final night of the regular season here in Piraeus. They had to do it against a determined and stubborn Maccabi, who gave it everything they had to try and get just a third road win of the season and hand Olympiacos a third straight home defeat. But it's Nigel Williams-Goss and Olympiacos who can celebrate with family and friends at the finish.